everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Josie, and most of you know that this channel deals with controversial subjects. Sometimes I probably offend people, but all of my information comes from research and from my heart. So they are personal feelings, plus I do a lot of research. And the reason why I'm doing this one today about the words honey, sweetie. I've heard other complaints and it's been brought to my attention. And also, now this person who did it to me recently was a local person, so it was nothing to do with the internet, Facebook, YouTube. But this person requested that I sew a very unusual item because a family member of hers could not find it out in the local market. And because my schedule is so full, I declined. And her response was, "Okay, sweetie, I understand." That's condescending. I really took it in a way that, okay, we know you're old. So I sent her a short list of my schedule and never heard back. So it prompted me to maybe inform people. And I'm a retired nurse, and in nursing school we were taught never, it's very unprofessional. You do not call a patient sweetie, honey, dear. Not even a young person. Maybe a small child. That's a little different. But anyway, I did some research to see, is it just personal feelings? Anyway, professionals call it elder speak. I never heard the term before. And I'll read this. It says, professionals call it elder speak, the sweetie belittling form of address that has always rattled older people. Unless you have a close relationship, like I liked it if my husband or boyfriend called me honey or sweetie, that's different. But somebody that you're not close to, say you go into a restaurant and the waitress calls you sweetie and honey, they may think it shows kindness, but especially to older people, it does not. Just give them good service, smile, have a conversation. And a lot of people who use that term, honey, sweetie, they actually forget your name. And that's why they use those terms, is they forgot your name. And you know what? I'm not good with names, and I've been that way all my life. I will just admit to somebody, I'm sorry, but I forgot your name. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. You may feel a little not so good at the time when you have to admit that you forgot a name. But it's better than just using the term, oh, sweetie, how are you today? It's belittling to some people. So I'm going to read a couple of things that I found. There are some people one person, I don't find these words to be condescending. What I find condescending is when someone speaks to you as if you're stupid, or as if they clearly think they are superior to you. Well, that's kind of not really making a decision whether it's condescending or not. You know, it's words, and we all are guilty of that. Sometimes we don't stop and think about our words. And that's why someone asked me when I first started doing videos if I was a school teacher or what my profession was, because sometimes I pause and I hesitate with my words. And the reason why I do that, I've always said that once words are put out in the universe, you can't take them back. Once you say something to hurt someone, you can apologize a million trillion times, but it will never take those words back. So that's why I hesitate. I'm always trying to say the correct thing. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I mess up. But that is the reason why I do hesitate. I try to think about what I'm saying. And another comment, if my partner or close friend calls me sweetie or honey, that's fine. But coming from someone I hardly know or who isn't close to me, it signals that they seem as a child and not worthy of being listened to. It's often demeaning and dismissive. I don't always, I don't know if I agree with everything that I have been reading about. There was another thing I read about, which I have seen it happen, being a nurse. When a doctor goes into a room, say in the doctor's office even, and there's an elderly person with their family, say son and daughter or whatever, the doctor won't address the patient, and not all doctors, so don't misconstrue what I just said. The doctor will talk to the kids like the older person isn't there. Not good. Not good. Nowadays, with exercise, better diets, older people are living longer. And yes, there's some with dementia, there's some with Alzheimer's, grant you. But Alzheimer's actually can come on when you're in your 50s and 60s. So don't treat elderly people like they don't have a brain in their head. One of the most fascinating things to me was in the latter part of my career, because I did not want to work night shift, and my husband and I moved to another state, and to work in the hospital I would have had to work night shifts. So I went to work in a nursing home. And the most fascinating thing to me was there was people in there who were not old, actually. They had disabilities that they couldn't take care of themselves. I've taken care of 50-year-olds in a nursing home. So you can't always classify, the age. Grant you, most people in a nursing home are elderly, yes. But and there's a lot of them that are really sharp. And the thing that I enjoyed so much was listening to some of their stories, the history that they had. And being a nurse, and we also knew who had dementia, who had certain diseases. So we knew who was alert, and I'd say with the program. And I loved the history that these people had, that young people can learn so much they probably could learn more about history from elderly people than they can going to college, because elderly people have true history. It doesn't come from fake news. It comes from experience. So show some respect and remember that I actually wish that when I was younger I felt like I do now. Because there was times young people are very judgmental, and I was guilty of it too. I think every person is, but elderly people are very knowledgeable. In fact, how many of us will look back on our life and think, oh, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have changed a lot of things. So remember that. So I didn't really mean to get off on the subject, but be careful when you're talking to, and not only elderly people. I don't care if you're 30 or 40 years old. I think it bothers us when we're older that somebody will say, oh, hi, sweetie. How about using a first name? How about saying Mr., Mrs., Miss? I would rather have somebody call me Miss or Mrs. than sweetie, dear, or honey. So think about some of these things. Show respect. And in my life, I haven't had it happen very often. But I did want to bring up the person that lives locally here. That some people, when, they're friends when, say, they get their way, and the first time you tell them no, this is the change of attitude. And like it was, okay, sweetie, I understand. No, you don't understand. You didn't get your way, and they're actually trying to put me down, which it didn't work. It just actually made me do some more research and realize that, nowadays even doctors are doing this. Maybe not intentionally. I realize some of them have such a busy schedule. Although right now, hey, most doctors, unless they're in the ER, their visits are phone visits. And I'm not just saying that because I've had 2 phone visits. So think about the words that we say. And like the people that question that I hesitate sometimes when I talk. The reason because I actually think about each word before I say it. Because I do not like to offend someone, although I don't like the word offend. And I'll be real honest, I don't mean to offend anyone. But if I'm going to tell the truth about a certain subject, I don't really care if I offend you or not. I'm not going to lie just because I don't want to hurt your feelings. I always figure if I offend someone, the same way with my channel, if you don't like what I say, then don't watch me. But I will always try in every way to tell 100% truth and not lie. What you see is what you get. What you see on the camera is no different than what I am in real life. I would say, opinionated, blunt, but my best quality is honesty, and I strive for that. So now that I've gotten completely off the subject, I hope you got something out of this crazy video I just did. And please, when you approach somebody who's older, stop and think. It's okay if you don't know their name. Don't just use honey or sweetie just because you don't know their name. Introduce yourself. Ask them what their name is. And it's okay. We can't remember everyone's name. In fact, with me, if somebody introduces me to people, I will forget your name 2 seconds later. But if I have a conversation with you, then I will never forget your name. So anyway, I'm going to close this video. Hope you got a little something from it. Just remember, when you use the words sweetie, honey, or dear, save those for your husband, your wife, your sweetheart. Save it for people that you're really close to, that you really love. Don't just throw those words out there, because sometimes those words actually are demeaning. And they're not appreciated. Anyway, have a great day. Be safe, and God bless you.